Hello and welcome to another video on Jurassic World the game. Today's video I'm going to be covering the Amphibious Assault mod event that took place on November 16th, 2019. I'm showing both good and bad ways to handle mod battles and what happens when you do not think through your battle before starting it. Let's dive in. Alright, so we're going to do something different today. I'm going to actually record my voice after the video recording, see if that helps the audio at all. So today, like I said, I'm going to be going over the mod event that happened yesterday. I did this last night and was both easy and incredibly difficult towards the end. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing with your mod battles. So in this first event, you only need to use one amphibian. And so I'm using two pterosaurs because that makes it fairly easy on the first part of the mod events. I'm using a clone up front to basically take out just about everything. And then I'm going to be swapping in some creatures as necessary to prevent the steal that's on that last creature from causing any problems. So let's wait for it to load. Some folks were asking about some mod events. I wasn't going to make a video of this because you'll see I have a little bit of trouble, but I think it's good to show the videos that you have difficulties with as well as the videos that you don't have difficulties with. All right, so obviously Clone is a fantastic mod to use, super rare, especially in these events where you can have a class advantage over your opponents. So Clone's going to pick up everything from the other side, including all the boosts that the opponents give to that first creature, which makes it fairly simple. Now, the one thing that I have to watch out for is that steal mod at the end, because if it steals the clone, sometimes when steal happens, the mod activates, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But if it doesn't activate, then we've got some trouble that we gotta deal with. So, obviously, clone is taking out creatures left and right, makes it easy. Just gotta wait for what I was trying to think about yesterday, and I believe I'm just trying to get the health down so that when I swap in, I can take him out with the piercing bite mod and then not have to worry about if he steals my piercing bite. It's a little bit different recording the audio after the fact, but we'll see if this does better with audio recording than trying to record at the same time as everything else. All right, so he's going to come in, he's going to steal the piercing bite mod, which is not a big deal, and he's going to take out my creature. And again, a lot of the mod battles are just about anticipating what the other creature is going to do, so that way you don't have to worry about anything terrible. All right, battle number 2 here. Obviously for this one, we need to use 2 amphibians and 1 pterosaur, or 1 other creature if we choose. So in this case, I believe I'm going to use 2 throwaway amphibians, because I'm going to end up using a Metrophodon for Splinter, which is a fantastic legendary mod when you are going to be doing class advantage with a glass cannon, basically. You can take out an entire team with it. Becomes a very, very useful mod when you are guaranteed class advantage. It's fantastic. So the first two creatures, I'm going to put just some, I don't want to call them trash mods, but basically trash mods, just ones I need to use up, so that way I'm not utilizing any good mods, because these creatures basically aren't going to do anything other than allow my Metrophodon to get as many action points as possible before it comes in for the Splinter takedown. So for this scenario, really the only thing I'm looking to do is I'm gonna reserve one on this first one, and then allow action points to build up on the second before sacrificing to hand over action points to the Metrophodon. Splinter does some fantastic stuff in the way of just obliterating the other team when you've got a glass cannon that has attack like the Metrophodon and class advantage on top of that. It just becomes a no match for the opposing team. So I'm going to reserve 4, and I don't remember if it attacks right away or if it's going to reserve. All right, perfect. So now we've got 8 action points for the Metrophodon. That's going to pull up some just ridiculous attack here. And just going to wipe everybody out. Easy peasy. So this is where the ease of my mod battles stopped last night. In this one, the nullify at the end with the combination of the toxin on the second, and I did not have my normal inspires or terrifies, which I would use to take out the opposing creatures. So this first battle, I attempt to do some mod magic. We'll call it mod magic. That I basically fail with. So we'll watch it play out here. And last night, I did this late last night, so I'm guessing my brain is just not working very quickly. But I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with those 2 mods that are coming after the first one. I believe I went with a siphoning by. We'll see what I went with here. We're watching this together. See how silly or crazy I was thinking. I just know that I did this battle a couple times with different combinations of mods because it just wasn't working. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna deal. So obviously the toxin is the main problem, so that's why I'm not using throwaway creatures, because when that toxin comes in, he's gonna start doing damage to my other creatures. And then the nullify is a problem, because if I don't have some strong creatures in the lineup that can do some serious attack, which is what I was thinking for my Prestasuchus, then we've got some problems. So for here, I'm thinking that I'm going to, I can't remember if this is what I actually ended up going with, so I'm going to wait until it selects out. Yeah, so I'm thinking that by the time my Prestasuchus comes in, I'll have enough to do enough damage to take everybody out, since this is my hardest hitting amphibian. And I've got the Siphoning Bite on the front end because it's a great way to take some damage and then basically heal back up. but it all goes awry at some point. I don't remember which one it was. Might have been this one right here, when I realized that he could actually kill me with 3. Nope. Alright, so I swap in the Gorgosuchus because with the adrenaline rush, it will activate even after it gets killed. So if it has to take some hits, that's okay, because then it's still going to be active even after the fact. So you'll see that I'll start doing action points here, and then I'll get an additional action point for a total of 7. So that way I can do some few extra moves here. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the Gorgosuchus down, but not let the toxin come in, so that way when it splits, which is a failed way of thinking it in the first place. I just realized that the splinter is still going to do the same amount of damage on the first one. It doesn't matter how much health is on that first one. So note to self, don't do that next time. So what I should have done here, and I do, okay, so I think that by attacking with all 7 that this is going to be enough to take out everybody, when in reality it is not. And so it falls just short of taking out the toxin mod, which is what I needed to take out. And so he hits me with 1, then the toxin kicks in and kills him and kills my last creature, which was waiting to come in to do the last final battle damage. So, failure number 1. Back to the drawing board. And now I'm thinking, well, shoot. I wasn't planning on needing to use any other creatures. So now I've got to start coming up with other ways to do this. And I rushed through this next thinking, because I was frustrated with myself that I didn't think through and kind of do the calculations of how much damage I was actually going to be passing on to those other creatures. And so I'm thinking, well, I'll just put a clone in. I think I go for the Regenerate, which is a newer super rare mod. It's the first time I've used it, and I wasn't sure how it was going to act. But we'll see here what I pull in. I believe that's what I did. And I was actually quite pleased with this mod yesterday. It's going to be a good mod to use, and I've thought about some other ways that I could use it in the future, but I just didn't quite use it appropriately in this case. Would have been great to have used it as or even maybe double up on it, because it doesn't heal the creature it's on, it only heals the team. So in that way, it's kind of like Inspire or Alpha, where it does things for the team, but does not do anything for the dino that it's on. And it is a legendary mod, and so it's not one to be used lightly or sparingly. But the good news is they did reduce the amount of mods, so I'm thinking, all right, so I'm going to use the Regenerate. I'm going to take stuff out with the clone. If I need to, I'll swap in the Osterosaurus with the survival mod, so that if I have to, I can take some damage and live, and then heal it back up with the Regenerate. So I'm trying to get tricky here, and partially because I rushed into this not thinking about how I should approach this 100%. And again, like I said, if I would have thought through this a little bit better, and even the battle itself And so this is where the regenerate mod kicks in, and boom, heals it back up. So it's a fantastic mod to use. But again, I didn't think through the fact that it didn't heal itself. It only heals the team. And so having it on I should have put it on kind of like a tanky health creature, so that it could take more damage and not have to worry about it getting cut off. So this whole battle is me trying to build up action points and not allow my creature to get killed. I'm also a little gun shy in this battle after the first battle, because I didn't think through stuff, and at this point I'm in a rock and a hard place because he's got more action points than I can deal with. So I bring in the Ostroposaurus, thinking that he will go all out to kill it, but he does not. He only does the 2. I don't know if that's something new when it sees the survival mod, but that kind of ruined my thought process on it. And so I gotta swap back in the clone. I can't kill his first creature yet, because if I do, he's going to bring in Toxin, which is then going to take out my Ostroposaurus that just took the damage that it had. So I'm trying to give it time to heal back up off of the regenerate, which, again, I'm dancing all over the place trying to figure out how to take out this guy, and then I didn't realize that he was going to go all out and kill my guy, right? So, boom, again, I'm back in basically an unwinnable battle at this point, because of the way that the toxin is going to take effect. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take off the first guy, hope I can survive. And I'm just kind of playing this out. At this point, I'm pretty sure that I've lost this battle, but we're going to let it play out just to see how things transpire, if you will. So I block the attack, but Toxin kicks in, hits my bottom guy, and at 1337, it doesn't matter how much it is going to attack for. It's going to automatically take out my other creature. And I'm trying to figure out, well, if I swap out, can I take out the level 1671, and couldn't, based off of needing to have at least enough to take out his last guy when he comes in. And so it's game over again here. Now the hope is, and I had forgotten the fact that he still had action points. And so, game set match there. So another battle. So at this point, I'm like, all right, how are we gonna do this? I've used up most of my good creatures, and now this is what I have. This is what I have that's left. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm gonna throw some clones, do some regenerate, so that way they will be up and running. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, if that toxin comes in, it's going to take out my clone before he has a chance to activate the clone. So I got to have something that's strong enough to withstand the toxin and not die. And so this is going to be a good matchup, but not that I'm stressed, but I am definitely not thinking through the way that I'm approaching this battle, and I'm just trying to hammer it through clearly, well, we'll see here. This is another failed attempt. Should never play mad. Should never play mad. It's my advice for today. If you're mad at the game because you're not thinking about it appropriately, put it down and walk away. Don't keep playing, because you're gonna waste creatures and potentially wasting mods. I mean, at this point, I'm running through super rare and legendary mods here, like they're being swapped out for boosters, and I'm just trying to get rid of them. So don't play like this. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you're paying attention to what the computer's doing. So he's got 4, I've got 4. I don't remember what he does here, but I don't think yet. He doesn't go for anything, and so now I'm stuck, right? He's got 4 action points waiting. More than likely, he's trying to get to 6, so I'm like, okay, I'll block for 4, which in this case he did. I can't remember if he goes for it, so he doesn't go for all of it. So he's got 1 left. Regenerate's going to kick in, start healing me up, which is good. If I remember correctly, this battle goes on for a while, because I'm trying to be more careful, but I'm also not thinking about stuff correctly. I'm trying to get more action points to my second creature after killing the first, because I do not want the toxin to be around very long, because my regenerate is not going to be able to handle that last guy. So in this case, I've got 3. He doesn't do anything. Regenerates some more health. Okay, so he's got no action points left. If I was thinking at this point, I would have just done the 2 to take him out, and then just threw the 2 to my second guy, but I didn't. So in this point, I'm trying to, again, build up more action points. And this is where I made my mistake. So I swapped in this guy, thinking, okay, my clone mod, my creature that was just cloned, has got plenty of health. And not thinking about the fact that he's gonna die from the toxin. And so back to square one. I don't know what I was thinking, not sure why I swapped again. I think it was just tired and not thinking about things appropriately. And so there goes my other clone. I should have just left it in. Now I've got no way to heal. And I'm gonna have a nullify slap me in the face here. So I'm basically dead in the water for the most part. And there could have been some other ways to approach this, like with a steel to take away his toxin, but ultimately failed. So at this point, I am extremely frustrated. I've used up almost all my good creatures, and I'm going to go back to my bread and butter when I have a crazy matchup on the other side, and I don't really have the creatures to take it out. So try level that guy up. I'm going to put something else in the incubator or the fuse chamber to level up. Because again, this game is all about, in my opinion, time management. when it comes to making sure that your free things are always running if you can. It makes for a much cheaper experience. And I'm going to go try to purchase some mods. So what I'm going to try to do is I need 2 Terrifies. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to spend, I don't know, maybe 200, about 200 Dynabucks, can't remember, 250. And I'm trying to get Terrifies. Clones are great, so when it lands on clone, that's fine. But ultimately, I am looking to get 2 Terrifies. And the reason why is when you put a distraction on your first creature and 2 Terrifies on the rest of your creatures, you effectively eliminate the attack of your opposing team. There's nothing they can do. They've got literally 0 attack, which means that Toxin doesn't work. Really nothing else works. Now, the one thing that this wouldn't work with is if they had a charge or berserk, something that gave them more than 10% attack, then they could potentially have some attack that comes with it. So I'm just looking for those Terrify mods. Not getting them, which can be frustrating in itself. I do wish that there was an option to go in and just purchase a mod that you want, maybe for more than what the spin wheel is. But so I've got my 2 Terrifies, and I'm going back in. So I'm gonna put the Gorbasuchus, which is my highest attack that's left, and then 2 throwaway creatures. So I'm going to put the distraction on the first creature, and then gonna put the Terrify on the following 2. And this essentially, like I said, just eliminates the entire attack of the opposing creature's team. It doesn't take down all of the creatures that are lying in wait, but it takes out the creature that's actually in the attack slot, which is where all the attack is coming from anyway. So effectively it reduces everybody down to 0. And so now it's just about building up action points. And even at this point, I'm a little sketch about the way I'm thinking about the match, because I've now lost 3, wasted a bunch of mods, a bunch of creatures, and not even thinking of this one 100% correct. Like, I could have just taken him out right then and not reserved any, but I was nervous about the Toxin, questioning the way that I think about mods. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? But the reality is that it's gonna neuter the Toxin when it comes in. Just not thinking straight. So yeah, so I'm hoping that this video has helped some folks see how some of the kind of the higher end mods work, some of the super rare, some of the legendaries. If you put them appropriately and at the right time, and you think through your match correctly, they can be very powerful. If you do not, they can be very wasteful, because mods do not solve everything, but they can make it much easier to take out creatures or a group of creatures that are clearly way overpowered compared to the lineup that you usually have available. The mod battles tend to be quite a bit higher in ferocity than your creature lineup. And so now, since the player itself has 0 attack, the toxin has no effect because it can't do anything. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to build up reserve points, and I should have just went more reserve, because now with Nullify, this last creature's going to have some attack. Not a lot, but some. And I didn't want to chance losing this battle also, so I got a little gun shy. And that is game, set, match. So, and all of that for a Golden Rewards pack, which didn't have anything fantastic in it, and coins, a decoration, and a legendary creature, but the VIP points are fantastic, as well as the SDNA for the event. But yeah, how to use mods and how not to use mods. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Subscribing to my channel and clicking the notification bell will ensure that you'll be notified as I release videos on the channel. If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. If there is something specific you would like a video on in the game, please leave a message in the comment section below on what you would like to see. Again, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.